Okay. Now,
Speak English, right?
yeah. Oh, hi, Kitty or Casey. Long time no see. It's nice to see you after I think 1 year, and because of my suspension, I'm not able to come back to campus. But I know that you are currently studying in Columbia University. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi,
Okay.
Matthew.
I'm really honored to have you here as my guest. And I think I want to start off by saying I'm very grateful for the help you provided me last year in Dr. Richard's class, and I really appreciate it. Okay.
No
Okay.
problem. Thank you.
Okay. And could you describe which program you're currently in?
Well, right now I'm in bilingual bicultural education program in Teachers College, and yeah, it's a master program.
Okay. So maybe it's education oriented, right?
Yes, education, but I'm more interested in a cognitive aspect of that.
Me too. Okay. Um, maybe I'm also applying for some TESOL programs in UK. Yeah.
Okay, good luck with that.
Thank you. Okay. So in this interview, I'm going to ask you something about your writing process as a writer, maybe currently as a research research writer for research. And also, I will ask some questions maybe regarding the experience of taking literature class. Okay, okay. I'm going to
Okay.
focus on physical and mental aspect of it. First question is, what are some of your unique writing habits? For example, you can talk about whether you prefer writing at night or at daytime. Can you start work anywhere you are comfortable with? And do you like writing on softer surface like silk or sturdy ones like um, desk, stone tables?
Okay, I don't really have a specific preferred time of writing, but I think I can be more conscious and I do I can work in any environment, but I also prefer to work in a cafe and with soft music, with some white noise, and I don't I don't think I can write better on soft surface like silk. I never tried to write on silk before, but
Um,
yeah, that's your question.
yeah, I like working in cafe in Mixi as well. Yeah, it's good to know you.
Next thing, Starbucks.
It's called the Sisyphus Cafe in the Sisyphus books.
Oh, Sisyphus.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay, me
spent
too.
a lot of time. Okay. What writing instruments do you like to use? Do you like using pen or pencils or typing on keyboards?
I think different instruments have like their own merit. If you write paperback using pen or pencil, it's more you have more freedom, like in terms of spatial freedom. But if you write on keyboard on computer, it's easier to preserve, it's easier to distribute, and also to work collaboratively.
Okay,
So it depends.
depends on the task, maybe.
Yes.
Thank you for this. Now let's talk about the cognitive process of writing. So for some literature or creative writing course, like Dr. Jennifer McCord, do you when it needs a lot of inspiration because the task is often creative in nature. For these courses, do you go outdoors for inspiration of writing? And this is what we call 采风 in Chinese. Okay.
Yeah, I think I find go out for going out is good for inspiration, but well, I never took creative writing of Professor Jennifer's course before, but if I need inspiration, I actually sometimes can get from my dreams. I have very wild, funny dreams with with a lot of details, and I think that's a good source of inspiration.
Yeah, dreams are very interesting research topic in cognitive science. Yeah. Okay. So do you keep journals if you have those interesting dreams or diaries or inspiration? Since Mr. Tarwood has told me that journals are a way to communicate with your future self. So if you look back at your past journal, you might be inspired to write something for your current courses.
Oh, I think it's very interesting to think like you're writing to your future self in journal. Yes, I do keep journals when I think once of but I don't like keep writing journals. I just do it whenever I go to a new environment. Like for example, I got a month internship. I keep journals for that month. I think it's very special. It's a very special experience. So I write on very small portable notebooks, like take down things that whenever it's available. Um, but you know what's funny is I do have one or two of those notebooks, but I never go back to look at that. I think the process itself is kind of special to me, but not the result.
Um,
And also, I write in my bilingual bicultural education program. A lot of coursework is related to um, writing reaction papers to certain. We have a lot of readings to do, usually 3 or 4 per week per
well,
course. But and usually every week we write we would we were asked to write a reflective journal or reaction paper or reflection. I'm repeating myself to that. And I think it's very useful to revisit those journals when I'm like now, right now, when I need to write my term paper. So I do agree, your professor, Mr. Tarwood,
okay.
notion.
Actually, I sometimes write in not journal but a memoir on iPhone because sometimes when I
Oh
have
yes,
yeah some crazy or ideas I'm thinking would be great for creative writing and I will note them down, but usually I won't revisit them as well because you know it's kind of messy and a messy lack of organization. So yeah, okay.
yes. I think your notes, your class notes on the phone or anywhere is also a good way to keep like journal in in a sense, in a way. And by the end of term, you can look back and see, oh, how much work I have done.
Yeah, about that, I have a question that may be a little what's the word? Specialized for this course, and I will explain those concepts. So, do you think
Okay.
you, some concepts I will talk? Can you hear me? Uh,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Please
Um,
go ahead.
um, do you think you are a one drafter or multi drafter? One drafter means individuals who write only a single draft before submitting, and they will plan everything. And in the planning stage, they will find the academic resource and the organization and the use of vocabulary. And when they start writing, they write it only once, and that is the final product? Or do you think you are a multi-drafter, individual who write multiple drafts before submitting? So they will explore when they first start off, but this essay might go many directions and they will constantly revise. So which one do you think more fits into your own writing style?
I do think I write spontaneously.
Mhm.
I just write whatever come to my mind, and I don't I don't revise my writing a lot because I think editing is really kind of tedious
Yeah.
work. But I know it's good to go back and edit your work, and sometimes you can completely rewrite it. But it's quite a lot of work to do, and yeah. So I know there's a lot of benefits to write multiple drafts, but it depends on time also. You know, if there's a deadline and you're doing that just before deadline, you don't really have time to do multiple drafts.
I think you also answer the next question about whether you prefer an organic or more plan redraft approach. So that question is also answered. So I just want to say that I don't. I think you fit both one drafter and multi drafter because it seems like you don't like planning in advance, but also revision is not preferable to you as well. So I think you might be tends more towards multi drafter. Yeah. So that is my observation.
I think so.
I remember Dr. Richard class is also the final essay is very explorative, and I don't know how to proceed when at a certain stage and I have to communicate with him in office hour. So it's kind of like multi-drafter. Okay.
Yes, in that sense, yes. And also, I remember in our freshman year composition course, for that professor, we usually do like 7-8 drafts. Every time, for the first few drafts, it's almost like rewrite completely because there's always problem like thesis or structure or sub thesis, and to rewrite those is quite painful.
Okay. Do you use some visual sources, so like YouTube in your current research project? Because sometimes it is allowed to use a visual source to use as a sample of analysis, I think, for some open essays. So does that happen a lot in your current program, or are we more stick to a text-based writing?
I don't think I watch a lot of videos. If I got stuck on some kind of concepts, I may go on YouTube to check for some lectures, but I don't use that as my source of write. However, well, that's because I have a lot of text-based reading to do already. That's quite enough. But however, I watched the lecture recently on connectionism and cognitive architecture. That is my professor's lecture, and I'm going to write a reaction paper on that. And I think that fall into your description of visual source YouTube inspiration. Oh, you mean inspiration, but yeah, that's also that. I think that video also gave me inspiration on what connectionism is in relation to computer models on cognitive process.
So
it's a very confusing lecture. It is.
So can you actually enclose or to copy and paste a link to an original video in your essay, or is that prohibited?
Oh, no, I don't think I need to. And at most, I think the most I think the thing that I need to do is to, like, according to Jerry Fodor, that's the lecturer, he said about ABC, and I think ABC is brilliant, things like that. And for coding, it's not that strict because it's just a reaction paper. It's not APA format term paper or something like that.
Okay.
Reaction paper is more like your journal.
I know we have reaction papers as well in this course,
Okay.
but very short.
Yes. It's more casual, but the same amount of mental work you need to do.
So and I remember you told me you also took ENG 2021, and I can boldly assume that you know the concept of free writing. Do you know free writing? So it's like typing on the. Oh, okay, I will explain. It's like typing on the keyboard and with whatever comes to your mind, and you don't need to care about the grammar. Yeah, you just keep.
Free writing is quite useful even when you're writing a research paper. When I was doing this project in summer with Dr. Gis Hargis, he just we got a lot of ideas, but on Zoom when we're talking, but it's quite hard to type it while you're talking. So he just suggests that I open dictation, dictation, 听写, and then whatever we were saying, just automatically typed on screen, and that's a way to record it. I think that's a way of even freer writing, to put whatever in your mind on paper, and also make it more linear. I don't know.
So do you find free writing conducive to or helpful to creating inspirations? And when you are in a block, writer's block, which is stagnant in paper, do you think it would be helpful if you free write a little bit to create new ideas? Yeah.
Yes, I suppose it does, but for a research paper, inspiration is more like research ideas and research question. The methodology part and others are quite fixed. So therefore, I find reading is more useful for inspiration, not just to think. 空想.
Yeah. I think that's maybe
because research and concept cannot come from nowhere. You have to got it from somebody. Yes. Nothing is new.
So, yeah, in some freshman courses, I also done a lot of research, maybe 15 per draft. So I just feel like it's very exhausting, and the tutor and the professor demanded a lot of me in freshman year. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yes.
my next two questions are both about social aspect of writing. So firstly,
Okay.
do you think current social events will influence your research paper? Because I know you are writing for educational, for bicultural educational problem. Do you think social events which are related in the social science, the progress in social science or changes in pedagogies will influence how you write, produce those papers?
Yes. Yes. Bilingual bicultural education is kind of like social justice thing here. It's all about policy and equity, things like really high up there. And policy and politics really influence this educational field in a very limited way, very limited. Not putting Zelensky and the war, the inflection, that doesn't really affect us. But if someone is saying something about, immigration or language policy or test, high stake test, that's something really big in our field.
Okay.
And we talk about that.
Yeah, it's very interesting to know that the politics and the social justice are one of the key aspect in your program because speaking
It's
from a
very deep.
okay, yes, Mike. It's good to know that although it's very limited. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Finally, I think the final question is, how do you view your relationship with others in your academic communities or even personal lives or families define or help you produce your writing? For example, I learned a concept that is called um, agent of socialization, and it indicates the individuals which help you enter the academic community who provides you with a lot of help. I remember a concept in linguistics called zone of proximal development, ZPD. Okay, so with the help of certain individuals, you can write better. So do you think there are certain individuals who influence your writing and define your own personal style?
I think a lot of people influenced my writing, although I don't know who them are, because when I reading academic papers, I just take in that writing style or whatever words they're using. I sometimes find it's funny that after I read a paper, and there are certain way of this writer's writing. For example, he or she may use a very complex word or certain word for certain meaning, and in my writing, I will also mimic that. Or if someone's using clause, the relative clause a lot, I would also use relative clause a lot, which is that is to say, this means, things like that. And I don't know who that is, but they definitely influence my writing. And but for more direct influence, I suppose you're asking about my professors. And yes, my professors influenced me a lot, especially Dr. Gina. I took her classes a lot, and she was she got certain flow of writing, and when I structure my paragraphs, I constantly think back to what she taught us.
Yeah. I think that is all of my questions, and thank you for those brilliant answers. And I think you'll be great for my reflection paper. Uh, Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good luck to your reaction paper.
I
I'm
will.
glad to be helpful. I hope if I'm helpful.
Maybe we'll take a screenshot of proof for our meeting. Okay.
You got this recording.
Okay.
What
Okay.
proof
Yeah.
I need?
Then you'll be okay. I'll